This topic could completely change the way you handle your finances. Have you ever thought about how small mistakes can turn into costly problems? Imagine you're sailing a boat and accidentally create a hole in the bottom. The boat starts filling with water, and if you don't fix it quickly, it might sink. With money, something similar can happen. If we're not careful, our mistakes can end up sinking our finances. Today, I will show you the 5 biggest mistakes people make with money. These are the slip-ups that might seem harmless at first, but can cause serious damage to your budget over time. Have you ever bought something just because it was on sale, even though you didn't need it? Or spent more than you should have to show off a glamorous lifestyle, even if it meant going into debt? I'm going to share some financial traps with you and how to avoid them. I'll walk you through the most common mistakes and how you can protect yourself from them. The goal is to help you keep your finances on track and avoid any unpleasant surprises. It's not just about saving money. It's about making the right choices to ensure your money works for you, not against you. So, if you're curious about how to avoid these mistakes and want to build a more secure financial future, stick around. In this video, you'll discover how to keep your finances safe. After all, it's always better to prevent problems than to fix them later, right? And make sure to check if you're already part of our community and if you've subscribed to our channel to stay up to date with more financial education tips. Impulse spending and poorly planned decisions. Let's talk about a situation we've all experienced. You're out and about, maybe strolling through the mall or browsing online, and suddenly something grabs your attention. It could be a new outfit, a gadget, or even a home decor item. In the heat of the moment, without giving it much thought, you decide to buy it. At the time, it seems like a great idea, right? But then you get home, check your bank statement, and that feeling of regret starts creeping in. It's like you got swept up in a fleeting temptation that, deep down, wasn't really necessary. This, my friend, is the classic case of impulse spending. These impulse buys might seem harmless when they happen one at a time. After all, what's the big deal about an extra coffee, a new shirt, or that car accessory? But the problem is that when you add them all up, these small indulgences can create a significant hole in your budget. It's like a dripping faucet. Each drop seems insignificant, but if you let it go, the bucket overflows. And that's exactly what happens with impulse spending. It accumulates, and before you know it, a big chunk of your money has slipped away without you even noticing. The solution to this isn't complicated, but it does require a bit of discipline and self-control. Before you start buying, take a pause. That's right, stop and think for a moment. Ask yourself, do I really need this right now? Be honest with your answer. If the answer is no or maybe, that's a clear sign you should hold off on the purchase. The trick here is to give it some time. If it's something you truly need, the desire to buy it won't fade quickly. But if it's just a fleeting whim, you'll likely forget about it soon, and your wallet will thank you. Another smart strategy is to have a financial plan. This means knowing exactly how much you can spend without putting your finances at risk. When you've already planned your budget, it's easier to resist these temptations because you know that every dollar counts. Set goals for what really matters, like a vacation, buying something you truly need, or even saving for emergencies. This will help you prioritize your spending and stay focused on what's truly important. Now, if you're the type who loves a good sale, be extra careful. Tempting deals can be even harder to resist, but remember, just because something is on sale doesn't mean you have to buy it. Always ask yourself if it will bring real value, or if it's just an impulse buy. Often, what seems like a great deal can end up being a waste if you don't actually use what you bought. The key to avoiding impulsive spending and poorly planned decisions is simple: self-awareness and planning. The more you understand your habits and how they impact your finances, the easier it becomes to say no when necessary. And trust me, every no you say to an unnecessary expense is a yes to your financial health in the future. So, the next time you come across something tempting, remember to take a deep breath, think calmly, and consider if it's really something that will add value to your life. By doing this, you'll avoid the regret that often comes later, and you'll keep your finances in check, allowing your money to be spent on what truly matters. Trying to appear wealthier than you really are. There's a mistake many people make, often without even realizing it, living as if they have more money than they actually do. It's tempting, right? The idea of owning that dream car, dining at the finest restaurants in town, or wearing the trendiest clothes. But the reality can hit hard when the credit card bill arrives, or when you realize you're spending more than you can actually afford. This is what we call living beyond your means, or as many say, trying to appear wealthier than you really are. Why do people do this? Often, it's because we want to be seen in a positive light by others. It might be the desire to impress friends, coworkers, or even the people who follow us on social media. After all, who doesn't like to appear successful? But the big trap lies right there. In the attempt to show others that we live a luxurious life, we end up compromising our financial health. And the worst part is that this can become a difficult cycle to break. Imagine you decide to buy an expensive car, even though you know it will stretch your budget. At first, everything seems manageable. You can make the payments and still have some money left over for other expenses. But over time, additional costs start to pile up. Maintenance, insurance, fuel. Suddenly, that car payment that once seemed affordable starts to pinch. But by now, you've grown accustomed to this lifestyle, and to avoid losing the status you've gained, you start cutting other expenses or, worse, relying on credit cards to cover the gap. In the US, where it's easy to finance big purchases, this scenario is all too common. People often buy homes, cars, or luxury items that they can't truly afford just to maintain a certain image. But this can lead to long-term financial stress as the debt accumulates and the pressure to keep up appearances only increases. The key is to remember that true financial security is worth more than the temporary satisfaction of impressing others. By living within your means and making thoughtful financial decisions, you can build a life that is both comfortable and sustainable without the need to sacrifice your future for the sake of appearances. And it doesn't stop there. Maintaining an expensive lifestyle can lead to other problematic choices, like financing vacations you can't afford upfront, dining at pricey restaurants regularly, or buying designer clothes just to keep up appearances. In the end, each of these decisions stacks up debt upon debt. Before you know it, you're drowning in bills, unsure of how to get out of the situation. Now, imagine that in the midst of all this, something unexpected happens. You lose your job, face a medical emergency, or encounter any other unforeseen expense that requires quick cash. What happens then? Without financial reserves, you find yourself in a very vulnerable position. Debts that once seemed manageable suddenly become impossible to pay off, and what started as an attempt to show success turns into a financial nightmare. But how can you avoid falling into this trap? The first thing to do is to be honest with yourself about your finances. Stop comparing yourself to others and focus on what truly matters: your financial security. Living within your means doesn't mean giving up all the good things in life. It's about making smarter choices. If you dream of having a better car, for example, why not start saving to make a larger down payment, which will lead to more affordable monthly payments? Or how about planning your dining out more carefully, reserving those restaurant visits for special occasions instead of making them a weekly habit? Another strategy is to remember that true financial success isn't measured by what you have, but by what you can sustain without sacrificing your peace of mind. What's the point of having a luxury car if you can't sleep at night worrying about how to pay the bills? Or if you need to work 2 jobs just to maintain a lifestyle that, deep down, doesn't even bring you that much happiness? In the end, what really matters is your peace of mind. Having a healthy financial life, with savings for emergencies and the ability to spend within your means without stress, is worth far more than any status. When you live within what you can truly afford, you're giving yourself the most valuable gift of all: the freedom to choose what really matters to you, without external pressures. So, the next time you feel the temptation to spend just to impress others, take a moment to think. What's more valuable, the status or your peace of mind? Do you know someone who tries to appear wealthier than they are? If so, comment below and share this video with them. Not keeping a close eye on your spending. Even those with a good income can fall into this trap. Not keeping a close eye on their spending. It might seem like a simple task, but without proper control, it's easy to end up spending more than you should. The good news is that today's technology is here to help and can be a great ally in keeping your finances in check. Think about how easy it is to forget the small day-to-day expenses. It could be a coffee here, a snack there, or a quick online purchase. At the moment, these expenses might seem insignificant, but when you add them up over the course of a month, they can make a big difference in your budget. If you don't have a way to track these expenses, you might be surprised at the end of the month when your finances don't add up as expected. This is where technology comes in. Nowadays, there are plenty of apps and tools that can help you keep track of your finances. A great example is Good Budget, which allows you to record all your income and expenses, categorizing each one so you know exactly where your money is going. This way, you can clearly see if you're overspending in a particular area and adjust your budget as needed. But why is using an app to manage your finances so important? First, it helps you get a clearer picture of your money. Instead of relying on your memory to keep track of all your expenses, you can have a clear and detailed overview. This makes it easier to identify where you can cut costs and save more. In addition, many of these apps offer reports and charts that show how you're doing financially over time. This can be an excellent source of motivation. Seeing that you're saving more or keeping your spending within your planned budget can help you feel more in control of your financial life. Finding the tool that works best for you is the first step. There are options to suit all preferences and needs, from simple apps that help track expenses to more complex systems that offer detailed financial planning. Try out a few options and see which one fits your lifestyle best. The most important thing is not to put it off. Starting to use a financial tracking tool today can make a big difference in your life. With a little discipline and the help of technology, you can avoid unpleasant surprises at the end of the month and ensure that your money is being used in the best way possible. So don't waste any more time. Pick a tool, start monitoring your expenses, and see how it can improve your finances. Short-term thinking and impulse buying. This mistake might seem harmless, but it can lead to a lot of headaches. Short-term thinking. This happens when you make a purchase immediately without considering the long-term consequences. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement of buying a new item or taking advantage of a special offer, but these impulsive decisions can create significant financial problems down the road. Imagine you've found something you really want, like a new smartphone or a dream vacation. The idea of paying for it in installments might seem like a practical solution. After all, who doesn't like the idea of getting something now and paying for it over time? The problem is that this kind of decision often overlooks the reality of your long-term finances. When you make a purchase without careful consideration, you can end up tangled in debt. Even if the monthly payment seems small, over time, these small amounts can add up to a significant total. And if something unexpected happens, like an extra expense or a change in your income, you might find yourself in a tough spot trying to cover all these payments. So, how can you avoid falling into this trap? The answer is simple. Think long-term before making a purchase. Ask yourself, can I really afford this right now without compromising my budget? If the answer is no, it might be better to delay the purchase. Instead of using credit or financing, try saving up the necessary amount first. That way, when you finally make the purchase, you'll be using money you already have and won't risk getting into debt. Additionally, planning your big purchases can help you avoid this kind of issue. Make a list of priorities and set a budget for each item you want. This will help you make more rational decisions and resist the temptation to spend more than you can afford. The rule is simple. Don't give in to immediate impulse. Take some time to reflect and plan your purchases. This doesn't mean you can't have the things you want, but it does mean you should do so in a way that doesn't harm your finances in the future. By doing this, you ensure a more stable financial life and avoid unpleasant surprises. Enjoying the video so far? Smash that like button and let us know you want more tips like this. Don't spend everything you earn. Now, let's talk about a crucial financial habit that many people overlook: not spending all the money you earn. It's easy to get carried away by the excitement of having a little extra money in your account and spend everything that comes in. But this zero balance mentality can lead to serious problems down the line. Imagine you're getting your paycheck and, seeing that money in your account, decide to buy several things you've been wanting for a while. The temptation to spend it all can be strong, but it's important to remember that keeping an emergency fund is crucial for your financial security. Having an emergency fund means setting aside a portion of your money for unexpected situations. This could be a car repair, an unforeseen medical expense, or even the loss of a job. If you spend everything you earn, you won't have enough funds to deal with these surprises, which could put you in a tough spot. So, how can you create and maintain an emergency fund? The idea is straightforward. Every time you receive your paycheck, set aside a portion of it for this fund. The exact amount can vary based on your situation, but a good goal is to save enough to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. This way, if something unexpected happens, you'll have enough money to pay your bills without going into debt. To do this, you can set up a separate account specifically for your emergency fund. This way, the money is kept out of reach of everyday spending and is used exclusively for urgent situations. Additionally, consider automating your savings by setting up automatic transfers from your paycheck to this account. This helps ensure you're consistently contributing to your fund without having to think about it too much. Remember, having an emergency fund isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's like having financial insurance that provides you with peace of mind and security. When you have this reserve, if something unexpected happens, you'll be prepared to handle the situation without financial stress. So, the next time you receive your paycheck, think about setting aside a portion for your emergency fund. This not only protects you from unpleasant surprises, but also helps you maintain a healthy financial mindset. By following this practice, you're investing in your future and ensuring a more stable and peaceful financial life. So, did you find the 5 biggest mistakes people make with money useful? I hope these tips have helped you see how small errors can turn into major financial problems. Remember, the key is to think before you spend, live within your means, and always be prepared for unexpected expenses. Now that you know what to avoid, it's time to put everything into practice. Start tracking your expenses, steer clear of impulsive decisions, and most importantly, take good care of your money to ensure a more stable and secure financial future. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. And of course, share it with friends and family so they can avoid these financial pitfalls too. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.